And we are back with another episode of Who You Got after a rough weekend of carnage. Well, a little bit. It was a mediocre weekend, Jimmy, I'll say. Mediocre at best. Is that a fair way to put it?
Yeah, I mean, it was Saturday off. It was like, okay, we survived, and then Sunday it said get beat.
Thank God for in-game bets. That's all I can say for Sunday. Saved me quite a bit, and hats off to the Sunday night game because that one saved me as well. Because Chargers came through with a nice same game parlay because I had McConkey to score, Vital to score, and I didn't get as greedy as you. I had Herbert over 15 yards rushing. Oh, and I had McConkey over 100 yards. So it was a good.
It was just a tale of the day, though. First quarter? Herbert gets tackled, comes up limping on his ankles, a little jacked up. I'm like, good. That's how the day's been going. Yep. Yeah. All right. It's about right. Surprised he got to 19.
As we run down, I know, I like how they took a yard away from him. He was at 20 at one point. But before we run down this weekend's fun in all the different sports, I'm going to start out venting. We have gotten to a point of just absurdity in this country where someone has to apologize for every single thing they say. And I have got to just sit here and vent about the Jason Kelce thing. Did you see this?
I did not. Enlighten me.
So on New Heights, he basically said to Travis said he was excited for the World Series in Game 7. And Jason basically replied with, "You really want me to get excited over a baseball team from Canada and a team that spends more money than all the other teams combined, basically coming down on the Dodgers payroll."
Mm-hmm.
And then he just catches all kinds of heat about hating Canada.
It doesn't seem like too harsh. Did he offer an apology? I hope not.
He basically said, "Guys, look at me. You think I don't like maple syrup? I love Canada." And he loves hockey, which is all true. But it's like he basically said, "Who the fuck cares about about the two teams?" And didn't care about Game 7. Said, "I'm not going to endorse baseball. To me, all it is the team with the most money buys World Series. It's dumb." Why can't you have that?
Yeah, I mean, it was a very slight joke. It doesn't seem like it's anything that should have sent the airwaves off the rails. So,
yeah. Jason Kelce's opinion is baseball sucks. He didn't care about a baseball team from Canada. He just threw that out there, or a team that spends way too much money. But then, Sure enough, people with way too much time on their hands go bananas. It catches a little steam, and everyone now Jason Kelce's got to get back on the air and say, "Oh, look, my comments were this," and it's just I'm so sick. It's so dumb.
Yeah, his point was nobody cares about these. Hey, I don't care about LA and their payroll. I don't care about the team from north of the border. If Cleveland's not in it, it doesn't matter to me, is what he should have followed it up with. And
here's my statement to everybody, and I'll never apologize for it. You don't like what Jason Kelce says? Here's what you do. Get good at sports, become really good, get your own podcast that millions of people listen to, and say whatever you want. But that's his opinion. He doesn't like baseball. He apparently didn't care about the Jays or the Dodgers. So just shut up and let the guy do what he does.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, don't listen to it. This isn't like school where you are forced to. You have to go there. Like, just don't listen to the podcast. That's the beautiful part about a free market. Like, let the market dictate what he can and can't say. If he started saying things that offended people so much that his listeners started dwindling, and then his sponsors dropped him, then fine. Then that's the price he paid. But just so whatever.
It's because we have way too many media outlets and people just looking for stories so they can get clicks online. So someone said, "Oh, Jason Kelce hates Canada." Everyone, it's so dumb. Dumb.
They gave any two schmucks a podcast these days.
Right. Exactly. And in theory, basically what I'm saying here, to wrap this up, Jason, just come on the show and defend yourself. I mean, we have tens of listeners you could talk to.
Yeah. Come on. They all want to know.
All right, let's move on. Somehow, unfortunately, we slipped on a banana peel and forgot to bet this in our account. Luckily, I had it in my other one, but UNC just rolls Kansas. Too bad, Keegan. You had the lead at halftime, and then UNC said, "Just kidding, Jayhawks. We're going to smoke you."
Couldn't have happened to a team we like less.
You're not wrong.
It's very good.
They get off to a good start. I know you were out on Saturday. You went to the Rutgers game, but did you get to see any of the highlights of the St. John's game?
I didn't. I was following all the scores on my phone because we started tailgating at like 9:30 in the morning. So I didn't get to watch anything till about 7 o'clock at night when I got back. But no, I didn't get to catch the highlights.
Dude, Bama looks like an absolute carbon copy of themselves from last year. They're
running
just
up and
going
down the
to
floor.
run and gun, don't play the best defense of all time, but they get you in such a chaotic pace that down the stretch, St. John's looked just like flustered and worn out.
Yeah,
I
what was
mean,
the what I want? What was? I mean, they scored 199 points in that game. What was the total before? I bet it was 171 or
the
something.
total, I believe the total was in the high 170.
Yeah, I wasn't far off. We're just guessing. Yeah, yeah.
And then we get robbed in the Arkansas game because Coach Cal does what Coach Cal does best and lose close games to better coaches.
Yep, I actually did catch the end of that one. I was watching it. I caught the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, first of all, run a good play to get the three off. Terrible last sequence. They got 2 shots at it, but they weren't great shots, in my opinion. They could have run a better play. And then, of course, just because it's us and terrible luck, Tom Izzo's the one coach who doesn't want to foul. Let him go for the tie,
Right. Yep.
Because we're catching 2.5. They could have made one, went for the miss, and we would have been just fine. But no, not with our luck. So those are kind of the highlights of the big one. Gonzaga rolled Oklahoma. So, I mean, we thought that line might have been fishy. We were going back and forth on was it too many points? But they rolled them 83-68, and it wasn't even close. The score is a lot closer. Games coming up, starting here soon. Iowa State will get their first test of the year, an unranked Mississippi State team. So we'll see what Iowa State can do. It's really it for today. Tomorrow, though, there's a couple to keep your eye on. Veterans Day, we're going to get a couple of good games. We're going to get Florida State at Florida. That should be a good one. We're going to get this game caught my eye, and I had to do a double take because I'm a Kentucky fan, and I know their schedule pretty well, as you know. We always play Louisville, usually in December, and for some reason, we're playing them tomorrow in Louisville. So we're playing at the old Yum Center tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, ESPN. So that'll be a good challenge. Number 9 versus number 12. Louisville will probably be a small favorite. I like our chances, though. I really hope. You remember when Texas A&M Corpus Christi was making like the tournament for a few years in a row and coming in at a 15 seed? I really hope they knock Kansas off tomorrow in Lawrence. That'd make me really
great
happy.
Would that be?
It would be just awesome. Texas Tech goes to Illinois. That'll be a good game, number 11 at 14. So we got some good games tomorrow. We end the slate 10 p.m. Creighton goes to the Kennel to play Gonzaga. 2 top 25 teams, but it's in the Kennel. So I'm assuming Gonzaga is going to be given probably 8-9 points. That's going to be an interesting one on where we land there, who we like.
We didn't preview Creighton or this year, but I haven't dug deep enough. But who do they have coming back? They were really a solid team going into the tournament last year.
They were. I don't know how many are back off the top of my head.
I don't either, but that's an interesting one. And hey, my boys, not your boys, playing Wake Forest 6:30.
I was just gonna bring that up. Yep, that's another decent game tomorrow. And then because we'll record again Thursday, just so nothing really going on Wednesday. Let's see if there's anything good while we record on Thursday. Oh, no top 25 matchups against each other.
We got Purdue, Bama.
We got Arizona, UCLA. Where's Purdue, Bama?
Purdue, Bama is on
Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, Thursday.
Thursday, ESPN 2. Yep, that'll be a good one. Purdue, Bama. And that is in Tuscaloosa, so that'll be a good one. All right.
Yep.
So that's kind of where we're at, State of the Union for college basketball. Let's go to college football, because we'll always end with the king, which is NFL. So I got a lot on college football. We'll start with Friday night. Memphis, we thought the line was funny. Didn't make a lot of sense how they were only 3 and people were hammering Tulane, and the Sharps knew what they were doing. And Memphis basically loses their shot at the playoffs, Jimmy, our boys.
Yep. What are you going to do? It's Tulane comes through. It's just disappointing that it happened in Memphis.
Yeah, you can't get beat like that at home. You just can't. No. You have to win that game. And they had a chance. They got back in the game. They outscored them 15-0 in the fourth quarter and had the ball with a chance to go down the field and win. And they just couldn't get it done. So
yeah, would have gone to 9-1 on the season, would have been great. But hey, Tulane 7-2. Playing it is what it is. But yeah, Memphis is cooked.
Did you see the fake punt that USC pulled on Northwestern? Not that it was a close game. I wrote it down Friday when I saw it because it was just fantastic.
I didn't.
they basically hit a backup QB back there. The kid has a kick and punt, but he was a former quarterback and just threw an absolute seed. And it was great. I mean, the Northwestern team was so confused on how a punter threw that pass, and then they finally realized, let's get the quarterback.
Yeah.
So if you didn't see that highlight, go check that out. That was a good one. Let's see. Your boys, come on, defend your boys here. Indy escapes, Jimmy, with Penn State with a late TD. They scored 36 seconds left.
I will defend them because they pulled it off. Penn State, as we've talked, has a very talented roster, even without Drew Aller in there. We thought they should have been the top team in the country. Every championship season has one of these games that comes close, and it's what do? Are you up or you down? They somehow pulled it off on the road, Happy Valley, 100,000 people, tough place to play, and they made the comeback, right? Like, they did it. So I get it, but I think that was their scare. And now Indiana, I mean, right, unless they take it easy because they feel they got over the snide, they're home to Wisconsin, and then they go to Purdue. They should be 12-0 when the season ends, and then let's see where the chips fall.
Yep, I agree with you. We go on a Saturday here in Ohio State. I mean, they look like the best team in the nation. I don't know if anyone's even close to them.
They do. I mean, Purdue's pretty bad. We just talked about it, 2-8. But yes, I think Ohio State is. I think it's Ohio State and everyone else, unless Curtis Ignetti and Indiana can come in here and say something about it.
You know what? Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's Ohio State, A&M, and everybody else because A&M looks dominant too. I mean, Missouri got pounded.
To play that well with Missouri against a good Missouri defense, A&M looks really good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, every time they just dominate the game, they just can take control, and there's nothing you can do. They just suffocate you.
Yeah, I mean, I know Mississippi State's not a world beater, but I actually thought that was a great win for Georgia too. It makes me a little more of a believer in Georgia to go and beat them by 20 at Mississippi State. They've been playing good football all year long, so maybe Georgia's starting to peak at the right time.
Dominated them. No upsets. Nothing happened this weekend. I really thought we'd get something to turn this upside down. Nothing happened. LSU had every chance in the world to get it back in that game with Bama, and they just couldn't. They are just lost when it comes to their
Yeah, it appears that way. What about, does a Virginia loss bring Miami back into the fold to win the ACC?
So I wrote that note down because I figured that would come up on this podcast because we've been back in Miami. So for the Virginia and Louisville upsets, don't help them that much because they lost to Louisville, so they don't have the tiebreaker there, and you still got 4 or 5 teams ahead of them, right? When you go,
let me pull it up.
I'm pulling up the standings myself.
Yeah, so let's see here.
So you got Georgia Tech, Virginia, Pittsburgh, SMU, who also beat them, Duke, all with 1 loss ahead of them. So they would need so much luck. It's not even funny because the 2 they lost to only have 1 loss and they're ahead of them. So basically they have a 2-game lead on that because they're not going to be for the tiebreaker. So they got –
and there's unless we really sit down and sharpen our pencils, Miami doesn't make the title game. If they is there any way there's 2 ACC teams that get in and they're the second team?
Be really hard to justify. I mean, because what are you going to do? You're going to hang their hat on the Notre Dame win?
Yeah, I don't disagree.
That's about the only thing they can hang their hat on, right? Is that, hey, we beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, what's their schedule look like the rest of the way? They've got NC State, not a bad team, but it's in Miami. That's not going to. They go to Va Tech, and they do end with Pitt, so that would be a nice win. At least it's a top 20.
Yeah, they're going to need a lot of help, unfortunately.
Yeah. Wild. I wanted to see Carson Beck in the playoffs. Too bad.
Me too. I don't
College
see
football should want Miami in the playoffs.
They should. I mean, the only possible way they get in is, let's see, what would have to happen? Because I think they're still a top 20 team in the playoff rankings. We'll see when the new ones come out. The only way it happens is if, let's say, Georgia Tech – they have to beat Pitt to put Pitt to 2 losses. Take that. Hope the Mustangs. Hope the Mustangs lose. Duke is let's be honest. Duke's a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, they are. I mean, they just.
They're somehow 4-1 in the ACC. 5.
By the way, I just want to point out I called that was too many points and that it might be an upset, and UConn beat them on the field as a 10-point dog. That number was bet down to 7.5, so a lot of people saw that coming. So that was one of our best calls for Saturday. UConn wins the game on the field. So basically, the only way I see this happening is they beat Pitt. Maybe Virginia stubs their toe again. They got Louisville in front of them. I guess that's the problem. Miami's going to have to run it out, hope Louisville loses again. If it's them sitting at 2 losses, SMU goes to the championship game and Georgia Tech pounds them, maybe there's a chance. Because Notre Dame right now is probably getting in, and if I'm a 2-loss Miami team, I might be saying, hey, wait a sec, we beat that team. I don't know. Right now, I would tell you it's probably 50-1 they get in the playoff. I don't know what the actual number is, but the true odds are probably 50-1.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Big Ten. It's the same thing with the Big Ten. Like how's the Big Ten going to shake out? What are all the parameters to get in the? I mean, if you look at the Big Ten, there's a ton of 1-loss teams up there.
Yeah, the Big Ten's going to get 4 teams in the playoff, probably.
4 teams in the playoff, but how do they judge the Big Ten championship game? I know I should know this, but like usually it's obvious. What if we it comes down to the wire? Is it going to strength of schedule?
Yeah, it's top 2, and then there's a gazillion tiebreaker scenarios.
Got it. Yeah, because it looks. I mean, that could be a thing where if Indiana, assuming they win out, in the off chance Ohio State loses to Michigan in the final game, you're going to have a bunch of 1-loss Big Ten teams potentially, or you're going to have 4 plus Indiana.
Who did Michigan lose to?
Michigan, they lost twice. They lost to.
Oh, it was USC, right?
Oh yeah, USC. Yeah, Oklahoma and USC. So USC was the Big Ten team.
So yeah,
they would have that tiebreaker there.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
We got to wait a couple. Let's wait to Thanksgiving week, and then we can kind of break this down more because we got to see who knocks off who, because there's got to be a couple of these teams matching up against each other. And then the SEC is basically the same shit show. We got to see what happens over the next few weeks. But to that, it's in the SEC. Oh, sorry, we'll stay in the Big Ten since you brought it up. I thought Iowa put up a really, really good fight, and they had a chance, Jimmy.
They did. You're right. Yeah, they were right there. It was a good call by you. I think we were on the right side of that. Oregon traveling to Iowa. I think there was enough people out there that thought Oregon was just going to come beat the brakes off of them, and they didn't. Iowa held true to their defensive roots and kept it close, just couldn't quite get it done.
So we talked about A&M, right? And we think they could just be a dominant team, kind of like Ohio State.
Yep.
What do we think of Texas Tech? Because every time we say, maybe this is the week they don't play so good, they just go out there and, again, just put up a great performance.
Yeah, I mean, I was higher on Texas Tech, I think, earlier. The game they lost, there was the injuries played a factor in that game. So, like, that is a part of it, right? So, for what it's worth, that was a legit thing. So, I don't know. They come back now, they're winning, they're looking good. I think that Texas Tech is a scary team. And Will Hammond is back on the bench, right? And we've got Morton back in the game, so I see no reason to think they won't. So the game they lost, that's what happened. And Morton almost won that game for him, right? I'm sorry, Morton's back. Will Hammond almost won that game for him in backup. So maybe that was a blip on the radar, right? But I think Tech's really good. And they beat, it was at home, but BYU's undefeated, good team, right?
No, yeah. I think BYU is a solid team. I know maybe they are a little bit overrated for an 8-1, 8-0 team coming into this game where they were ranked 7th because they have a couple of decent wins, but maybe they're a little bit high overrated. But I think Texas Tech is solid. I think Texas Tech's gonna probably win, like we called, at 5-1, 6-1 even. I think it might have been in the summer, to win the Big 12. I think Texas Tech will probably go to the playoffs. I think they can give anybody a game, anybody, including Ohio State. I think they give anybody a game.
I think this is going to be a very exciting playoffs. I can't wait till we get closer.
All right. So we all know, we talk about on the show all the time, Jimmy's got a busy weekend all the time. He's got kids. He's got this. He's got that. Jimmy's a busy guy. So things will fall off his radar that I'm locked into. So if you haven't looked, and I hope you haven't, do you have any clue what happened in the Wisconsin-Washington game this weekend?
I don't.
Okay. If I told you that the Wisconsin punter led Wisconsin in passing yards, how bad of a beating do you think Washington put on them?
Oh, I know the final score because I checked it. It was close.
Right.
It's a 3-point game. Yeah.
Correct. Wisconsin won the game 13-10, and their punter led the team in passing yards. I know Washington was ranked not too long ago in the bottom of the top 20. They should be kicked out of football.
I think they were still ranked. Hold on, let me look it up.
Were they ranked going into last week too?
I think they were ranked
Right,
going into.
they were 23.
Yeah.
They should be kicked out of football.
It's pretty bad.
Wisconsin's terrible.
They're
Obviously.
not a good football. They're not good at all. It's sad that they're bad. It's better when Wisconsin's good, but yeah, they're not good.
Again, I don't know how to say it. Their punter led them in passing everyone, and they won the game.
Hey, and they've got Iowa coming up on Indiana coming up on Saturday.
Who does? Which one?
Wisconsin.
Well, Godspeed, Wisconsin. We'll preview that on Thursday. Newsflash, we won't be picking you.
Yeah. What is it? Minus 35 Indiana? I'll take it.
I don't blame you. I would too. Let's jump to the Big 12 real quick because I just love to pile on the misery. Kansas finds a way to lose again. Thank you, Arizona, coming through for us. We appreciate you. Kansas drops to 5-5 on the year and 3-4 in the Big 10. I mean the Big 12. Excuse me. We don't want them in the Big 10 anywhere near it.
It's a lot more fun when they're bad. At least their football team's not supposed to be. It's a lot more fun when the basketball team loses because there's expectations there, you know?
Hey. There's expectations for this football team after, with Daniels. They thought that Daniels was the real deal and maybe have an outside chance at a Heisman and all this other bullshit they were talking about.
They were wrong.
Yeah, they sure were. God, I love when they lose. It's my favorite. Yeah. What's your take on Bama? I mean, I don't are they, to me, and I know this is a hot take and people are going to bash me if I post this as a short, I think they're the most unimpressive number 4 team in the country I've ever seen in my lifetime.
So Bama's been impressing me more and more as the season went on. Obviously, after they got the brakes beat off them that first game, maybe Simpson had jitters. I don't know. Maybe like I said, Castellanos came in and was talking all that smack, and it got to him. But they've been good ever since. They've won some big games, right? They beat Vanderbilt. They beat Georgia. They beat Missouri. I mean, they had a tough schedule. They beat Tennessee. So, I mean, I don't know. I think Bama's really good, and they're getting hot at the right time. They end the season, of course, with the Iron Bowl, which I don't care how bad Auburn is. They could always lose that game. And they've got Oklahoma this week, but I think Oklahoma's ship has sailed. However, I mean, Mateer could look like the Mateer at the beginning of the year and step up at any point. If they get by Oklahoma, then they have a cupcake after that, and then they get by Auburn. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you take anything away from them, especially after ripping off. After getting beat game 1, they rip off all those in a row, and strength of schedule certainly is on their side. I mean, so I know what you're saying. I don't love Alabama, but I gotta say I'm shocked at how they've turned it around. I feel good for the coach. I feel good for DeBoer. It's tough to replace a legend. Felt like they were ready to run him out of town already, and he's doing fine.
It just always aggravates me how the schedule always breaks Alabama's way. If this was in Oklahoma, I tell you, Alabama could be on upset alert. But, of course, it's in Tuscaloosa, so it's probably a win for Bama. Although, let's hope Oklahoma can go in there and put up a fight. Again, they don't come out and kick anyone in the dick, and it's like, all right, this team's great. Like, it's over. Like I watched A&M do. You know, like you knew that game was over.
Yeah.
You knew that Texas Tech game was over. You know the Ohio State game's over. Normally when Indiana plays, you know those games are over at halftime. It's just they're just very unimpressive to me. And I know I'll get beat up for that, but it's just how I feel.
No, I think it's a fair try. I mean, they don't, they're winning games that are tough games, but have they gone out and you're like, wow, this team's unstoppable? No, absolutely not. Which is, I think when we get to the playoffs, Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, Texas Tech, Alabama, like this is going to be really, really Georgia. Like this is going to be exciting.
Yeah, I agree. And I heard a lot of pushback, like, oh, we should stick at, I heard one take, we should just stick at 4. It's watered down. It's definitely not watered down.
It's not watered down.
Anyone in the top 10 could win this national championship on any given Sunday on a neutral field. Ohio State can lose to these teams. I hope it goes to 16 because I would like to see, look, obviously football is more physical, more violent, more taxing than basketball, but I'd love to see you have to win 4 games to be a natty. You got to win four competitive games. Like an NCAA tournament, that's why it's hard for the best team to always win. You got to win 6 games.
Yeah.
On neutral sites. You get to play home games in this, the first 2 rounds.
I agree. Look, I think that especially with NIL and the transfer portal, it's just becoming more and more competitive. It's not just I mean, we're not to the point where we have an NFL, right? The league's designed for everybody to be 500. Obviously, there's more competitive teams. I just rattled off 17. You can't definitively say any one of those teams can't win the whole thing. And then you never know who you have from a Cinderella perspective. The NFL puts 14 of 32 in, and we don't feel like it's watered down. There are right. So you can't, and I understand it's not as competitive. So no, it's not watered down at all.
Remember the signal? How many times as a 6 seed won the Super Bowl? Like a lot. Like the Giants. Like, I know we have 7 seeds now, but the 6 seed, when years ago, 10, 15 years ago, I mean, look at the Giants.
They did it twice.
And the year they beat the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
The undefeated Patriots, the team that people were saying the greatest team of all time, was a 6 seed.
Giants were
9-7, and they played competitive, but people forget they played the Patriots right at the end of that season, got in an absolute shootout with them in the Snoopy. And
it was a close game. People say that's what gave them the confidence to go win the big one. They thought they could run with them, yeah.
And it was crazy how they turned it around and held them in the Super Bowl to 14 points.
To some.
I'm going to sum it up with this, and I have one more college question. We'll move on to the NFL. To me, this was another Saturday of mediocrity. Nothing really surprised me. There were no upsets. It's just a bunch of But my question for you, because we follow him, we like him, we love the quarterback, but in my opinion, I think, unfortunately, Vandy just sealed their fate, even in victory. They just didn't look good. I mean, they fell down, they get up 8, they give it right back. It has to go to overtime.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think I like Vandy. Great story, fun quarterback to watch. Like he's going to be somebody's going to draft him. He's going to go. Agree. Yeah, somebody's going to draft him.
Yeah, he's Dylan Gabriel. He's going in the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah,
but I just think they're 2nd tier SEC. Unfortunately for them.
Yeah, it's fair. I agree, but look, they used to be considered 5th tier, so like they're still on the come up. Before
we move on, we're going to NFL anyways. I have to bring it up just because it annoys me to no fucking end with you. This is what I go through, everyone who's listening, because people are invested in when I give you shit about this. This is the shit that goes on in this fantasy league Jimmy conned me into. I have, going into the game that starts here real soon, I have 186 points. And I am in a dogfight to try to win another game in this freaking league. And probably won't even be the highest scoring team in the league, because we got one that's projected to score 198 possibly if they have a decent night tonight. Jimmy, once again, is going to get away with a victory. His opponent scores 81 points this week. Jimmy's defense comes out, puts up the steel curtain, and 81 points scored. Jimmy's going to score 110, would lose to every other team probably in this league, and he's going to get a victory and move to 7-3. Look, I can't even tell you how much it aggravates me.
It's a sob story for the masses. We're not going to we're not going to defend how our team's built. We're deep. We're going to be just fine.
You're not.
Greg's just listen. This is what I talked about. Greg's a sore winner. He's a sore loser. He's just
making that comment. I am not. I completely funny about it the whole time.
This is what I feel good about.
Please do.
I feel good about the depth of our team. So if we have a big week and a bye week, we have enough people we can rotate in and out. That's how we're built right now. Yes, we got lucky this week. Larry, shout out. I appreciate you having the worst team on earth and somehow scoring 80 points. I don't know how you pulled it off this week. Impressive.
The poor guy. His quarterback, 2-quarterback league that Jimmy has me playing in, by the way. His quarterbacks total, Dave and Danbury, you're going to love this, and Darnell, because I know you guys are listening. His quarterbacks total, 2 quarterbacks scored under 7 points, 8 points, under 8 points.
Yeah. So
2 quarterbacks.
Play the hands we are dealt.
I mean, it is absolutely incredible what goes on in this league.
I will give you this. This week, we are for sure getting lucky. Other weeks, like I said, we've been consistent in 120s, 130s, 140s, and we're just not taking everybody's best shot. But this week, we're getting lucky. However, I like the way our team's built. We feel very good about it. And we're trying to stay in this 2 seed to get that bye week. So we'll see what happens. I'm rooting for you to win. It helps me if you win this week.
Obviously. It basically clinches both of us a playoff spot. I should win.
You're scheduled. You're slotted to win.
Unless one of his players absolutely goes off. I actually think this is a call. I think the Eagles win tonight, but I think the Green Bay defense scores a touchdown tonight.
Yeah, I heard a lot of different commentary this morning on TV and in the car. People are picking Green Bay. They think coming off that terrible loss, they're going to be up, ready to go. It's going to be cold as hell in Green Bay.
You know what? You changed my mind. Let's go Pack. I'm taking the Pack tonight. You know what, Jimmy? You changed my mind. I'm actually, as we're on the air and we're just, 30 minutes away from kickoff here. Jimmy has convinced me. I'm going into my Fanatics account. I am cashing out my bet, and I'm reversing it to the pack attack. You know what? Who am I playing? I don't even know the person's name. Screw you. Packers D. I don't even know who you have, but I hope Micah Parsons takes your player out in the first play. I'm going right to the pack attack. Let's go, Pack.
Nice. Go, Pack.
All right. So your fantasy team is, you have, and I just like to mess with you. You have the greatest defense I've ever seen in the fantasy league.
We play very good defense. Listen,
you guys should be extremely proud. You play unreal D.
Oh, so in my other league, I only have 2 money leagues. I'm in the exact opposite boat. I am 2-7, but out of 10 teams, I'm like 3 in points. I'm just taking everybody's best shot. So it giveth and it taketh away. But I'm going to win again this week. I'll be 3-7. I'm trying to make this ultra comeback because I know I have a good team. The points say so. And I think if I can just get up to, I'm in 8th. If I can just jump 2 more spots, I can make some noise in the playoffs.
I got some. We're gonna have to off air talk about a trade because is Otten okay? Is he in concussion protocol? Did something happen to him? I heard he took a big hit.
Otten, I think we dropped Otten.
Oh well,
I did. Yeah.
Oh, who's your tight ends? I gotta get you a tight end. I'd like Adams, please.
Adams he's the leading receiver in touchdowns this year.
He might be up there. All right, let's go through some NFL stuff real quick as we kind of wrap up a shorter show, and we'll be back Thursday with Ryan doing all our nonsense. I don't know if you saw this, but before the Germany game, I thought this was cool. The Ursay, the owner, the daughter, she bought a whole round at a bar filled with Colts fans. Thought that was pretty awesome. Yeah,
that's very cool.
Went into a bar. It was filled with Colts fans. She just announced, "Next round's on me, everybody."
That is awesome.
The Jets say Aaron Glenn won't be fired. They said this before yesterday. Why would you fire him? You're the worst run franchise in the world and somehow trick this guy who's actually smart into coaching your team. Why'd you ever fire them? You're the Jets. What are we doing?
Yeah, you got to give him time. He's the one that wanted to be there. No reason to say that. Figure it out. Probably deserve. He's had some questionable clock management situations this year. I'll say that. But yeah, I agree. You can't fire him.
If I am a Colts fan, I know we already touched on the owner, but if I'm a Colts fan, I right now go out and buy a shirt that says, "Thank God you play for me, JT," because he just throws them on his back and wins games. 3 touchdowns yesterday. What was it, 244 yards?
Yeah, hell of a game.
The guy is – look – certain smart people said at the beginning of the year, this guy could win MVP. He could be Offensive Player of the Year. Someone tried to explain that he's only 24 years old and is an absolute beast. And I'm just happy, not for me that I said it, but that it's actually coming true. Because I love this guy. He had one freaking down year, which wasn't even a down year. He's the best bag in the league, Jimmy. It's not even close.
No, he is, and you did call it. My concern wasn't that he wasn't great. It was that their team, I didn't believe in Daniel Jones. And when the team is bad, they sit him down at the end of the year. He doesn't play as much. They're keying on the run. There's no threat over the top. As soon as he's got a threat now, he's back to being, you're himself. And he is proving that you're right. He's the best back in the league. I don't know. Pure running back, he's got to be.
So you're 100% right with your point. But here's where I'll say what the problem was Richardson wanted to run as much as JT did, and he wouldn't hand the ball off. That's why JT wasn't as big of a threat. Yeah, he still had a good year. Again, I said this on our show in the summer. He still averaged a ton of fantasy points, everyone. He still had a good year, even though he wasn't getting the ball. But Jimmy tried to explain to everybody that Pittman, we both did, but Jimmy took the lead on it. Pittman was going to have a decent year because they'd actually be throwing the ball. And sure enough, it opened it up. And now this guy's getting it. Plus, the new tight end has helped tremendously because he's.
Oh man, is he awesome or what?
Awesome. Yep, yeah, he's the next big thing for tight ends, I think. All right, I don't know if you saw any of the news today, so I'll run it down for you. Garrett Wilson's out 3 to 4 weeks. That's a fantasy implication. You might need to go to the old waiver wire or hold him for the playoffs. I don't know what you do if you're in a league with only 16 spots. We have an extra spot. You might have to drop him. I don't know what you do there. Oh, can you move him to IR for 3 weeks, or is it 6 weeks?
I think you can. I think you can move him. pretty confident you can move him almost as long as you want to, as long as he's
They
truly on IR.
They have to rule him on IR, right? But isn't it 4 weeks in the NFL? I don't know that. I think it's 4 though.
Is it? Well, is it? Yeah, because they go on the PUP list and if they go on IR, it's 4, right?
4, yeah.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Okay.
I don't know how that works in fantasy. They might have to declare him out 4 weeks for you to be able to move him.
I don't think so. I think in fantasy, if they're out for the game, you can move them. You have to be nimble the next week.
Got it.
Yeah.
Big news coming out today. Burrow is going to return to practice. Don't know what that means for a timetable, but he's returning to the practice field this week. God, I hope it means he's coming back.
Yeah. The only problem is, this is the only issue. I hope it does too, because we want to see him play. But Joe Flacco's not the reason they're losing games. He's putting up 470 yards and 4 touchdowns, right? What's Joe like? So that's the problem. He can, and it'd obviously be better the whole thing. But he's not the reason they're losing.
I agree. Thanksgiving-ish, they're saying Joe Burrow could be playing next week, folks. Maybe not this week, but maybe next Sunday. If Joe, I don't know the schedule, Jimmy. Pull it up. Shame on me for not knowing who the Bengals play this week. I apologize. If the Bengals come out and somehow can upset a mediocre Steelers team, which we've been saying on the show for a while, Jimmy's given everybody the keys to the castle. It didn't really work out last night, but Jimmy tells you every week, Steelers are going to start out strong and then fall apart. And they do it literally every week.
Every week.
If the Bengals could somehow go to 4-6 and knock off the Steelers, and you get Burrow back the next week, I'm going to call it right now. Bengals make the playoffs.
Well, that's probably why they're rushing him back, right? Because with Pittsburgh faltering, the Baltimore's obviously starting to elevate. We thought they would. You called the game against Minnesota. The schedule's weak. Then, yeah. Bengals think they got a real shot at this thing. I'm sure it's on your agenda to talk about. But what's going on with the Bills?
Oh, my God. We'll get to them in a minute. We'll run down the game. All right. I think this was a great move. I saw Colin Cowherd, who's another one of these talking heads who's always lost. Out of all the talking heads, he's probably my least favorite. I don't know how people listen to his show.
I agree. I never loved. I got Micah likes Cowherd. A couple of guys I listen to this show like him. I was never a fan.
He thinks the Giants made a huge mistake by firing Dable. The guy's an awful coach.
He's a bad coach.
He's a terrible coach. Terrible.
It's a bad coach.
Right. We're on the same page. Sorry, there's no debate here, folks. Me and Jimmy didn't discuss this before, but we're on the same page. Like, he's awful. Yeah. Great firing. Again, the best thing that could ever happen is if New Jersey just gets rid of their football teams and maybe they actually come to New York, because the Giants and Jets are just terribly run franchises.
Yeah, I mean, the reason you fire him now is because if you do keep him next year and it doesn't work out, now you're going to switch Jackson Dart's head coach a year and a half. Like, if you know he's probably not going to make it, rip the Band-Aid off now and get somebody for and also, right, you have time to get the coach of your choice, because you can start the process early unless you're hiring somebody that's actively in the playoffs or making the Super Bowl.
After the way Jackson Dart's head took a hit last night, he might think he's back at Ole Miss. So I don't even know when we'll see him again.
He's got to start sliding. I mean, he's playing like an asshole. I get it, but yeah. That
was my best win yesterday, was the Bears. When I saw Russell Wilson go in, I said, "Oh my God, I'm unloading and live betting."
We took the over bet, and I was hearing things. Oh, the weather. I will tell you right now that they should have scored 70 points in that game. The number of fourth downs they missed and fumbles they had, it should have been a set that had nothing to do with conditions or anything. It should have been a 70-point total.
If you didn't see the game, Jimmy's 100% right. That over hits 95 out of 100 times. All right.
Unbelievable.
But you know what doesn't hit 95 out of 100 times? That was the Houston Texans. Pour one out, Jimmy, with me for the Jags bettors, because if you bet that early in the week and you were getting 1.5 or you were getting 2, I mean, that was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Thank God for us. We were finally on the right end of something.
Finally, something went right.
I mean, that is one of the worst beats you'll ever see.
Like, we have a push. Just kidding. We won this one.
It was payback, everybody, for the Eagles game when they blocked the field goal and that big fella ran it back and on the Rams. This was our payback, because that big fella should have just fallen down, but he said, "You know what? I'm going to get the TD."
Yeah, and I think we caught some shit on the TikTok, which we don't quite know how to promote yet, about talking about how bad Jacksonville is. Well, they're proving now. They lost to Davis Mills in a game they should have won, and they were going to lose it
Yeah.
anyway at that
They're up
point. So
142 points and lost. Look, I don't know how we promote TikTok either, but I don't even look. If you're listening to us, go search for us on TikTok, and maybe it's funny. I don't even know what it is. I don't even know how long.
I'll get information for the next show. We have somebody handling it for us.
Yep. Jimmy controls X. I control content and YouTube channel. And backstage, Brian, who we're going to get on here one time so I can meet him virtually, is controlling TikTok. I hope he's doing a good job. Don't know how to promote it for you, Brian, but we appreciate you. All right, let's run this down real quick. We talked about the Colts already. JT saved that game in Berlin. Great job, JT. I thought I was as it was unfolding, I was actually writing notes, Jimmy, that I actually wrote this down and had to erase it. I wrote, Colts are going to get talked that they're frauds, and they deserve it after this game. And then I had to erase it because JT broke off 2 runs and saved their ass.
Mm-hmm.
But they would have deserved every comment they got that they were frauds because good teams win games like that.
Yeah, you're probably right. And I mean, you got to be a little, slightly, not overly, but a little concerned. Dan Jones had a bad game. He came back, didn't have a great game, had a good game, 1 pick, 1 touchdown. But what I thought about that game has nothing to do with our betting of the totals. I thought, this is one of the best games I've seen overseas. Like, this was actually a competitive matchup without a completely I mean, I know the Falcons are basically dead in the water for the playoffs, but it was a competitive game. 2 good
100%.
teams. We finally gave the Europeans something to root for instead of a 10-3 Jaguars-Jets game when they're both 2-10.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you. It was a great competitive game, finally overseas, which I thought was good to see. They saw a great game. Before we get to the Bears Giants games, that's next on my list. We kind of talked about it already. I got to tip my hat to VSiN, who gave out. Well, hold on, we're going to do this 2 ways. Terrible job with the prop when I listened to VSiN and they told me Shaheed was the prop of the year. There was no way he wasn't getting at least 30 yards. He was scripted in. Yeah, that worked out well.
Take a 0 off that.
Yeah, I think he got 3 yards. Well done, VSiN. But what I'll tell you, follow the money, that show just crushed was, I think it was Mitch Moss who was saying that he just had a feeling that this Raiders-Broncos game was going to be a dead under and just be ugly as hell. I mean, talk about under. Didn't even sniff the total. 17 points.
Yeah, I will say the Broncos are the most I've ever been unsure of an 8-2 team. I don't think they're bad. I just think they're figuring it out as they go, and they could easily be 6-4. I mean, with no problem at all. They probably should have lost the Raiders. I mean, Geno Smith was hobbling around on one leg that game, trying to will him to victory. I thought they should have pulled him. That sometimes the coach has to go say, "Look, I know you're trying, but 100% of Kenny Pickett's better than 50% of Geno Smith. So I need you to sit on the bench and let somebody else come in and try to win this game."
I agree. Great comeback by the Bears. Well done. You got to tip your hat to them. They're 6-3 now. The North is by far the most competitive league, so we'll see what the Packers do tonight. Goodwill, we're on it. Good win by the Lions, just keeping pace there because a hobbled Commanders team, you never know what's going to happen, but they got the job done. But, we'll end with what you brought up. I thought the Ravens showed guts, and they're on their way back now at 4-5. That was a good win on the road against the Vikings. You agree?
I think it was a really good win because the Vikings have a really solid defense. That's something to go up against, and they just got a big win from JJ the week before. So I think the fact that Baltimore went on the road and got it done, I think it's a big deal.
You got to be pissed about your Browns. They probably should have won that game. They just fell apart, looked terrible.
Yeah, they had 2. They gave up a kickoff return and a punt return. I mean, those 14 of the points. They on the field outplayed the Jets. They should have won the game. They just Browns themselves into a hole. So I do want to see. Maybe unpopular. I'd like to see Shedeur Sanders at some point this year. Not that I think he should be the starter forever, but I think you got to find out what you got in these 2 guys. So if the season's over, why not throw him in there and let him start a couple of games and then decide what you want to do next year?
Can you just trade Myles Garrett? I mean, can we get this guy in a contender? It's just annoying.
He's all I've got, so I don't want to, but they should. Yes. Yeah.
We're just going to lump these together. We talked about the Lions. We already talked about the Chargers. You brought up the Herbert got a little hobbled, but they looked great yesterday. Handled the Steelers, no problem. Wasn't really that even competitive. But let's lump these 2 teams together, both in the same division, both 7-2. The Rams offense is a problem, and the Seahawks defense is a problem. These are two good teams. Niners and the Cards aren't very good, but the Niners aren't going to make the playoffs because the Rams and Seahawks are.
Yeah, and they're both really, really good. Credit to the Rams for what I mean. It's not you got Matt Stafford, you draft Puka Nacua, you signed Devontae Adams, but talk about after the Super Bowl, the lull they went into, and they're right back. Like, great job rebuilding. And Seattle, the last team we would have picked, you could have got great odds on them going into the season. So Smith and Jigba, maybe everybody else is holding him back. He looks like a world beater, best receiver in the league this year. Yeah, so
Panthers.
I wouldn't bet against the Seahawks. I would take the Rams because you trust Matthew Stafford more than Darnold, but at the team as a whole, I like the Seahawks.
I'm with you. So right now, Seahawks, Rams, you're going Seahawks.
Right now, no, I'd probably take – I think Seahawks are the better team, but I would take the Rams based on Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, I would take the Rams because the best pickup of the offseason was Adams. Completely changed that offense. It's literally unstoppable at this point.
Yeah.
I am going to say I think we finally learned what we needed to learn about the Panthers. They are a Jekyll and Hyde team. You never know what you're going to get out of that team, and we saw how you lose to the Saints at home is just pathetic.
Yeah, it's tough because if you were to say this is where they're going to be after what happened to them last year, you'd probably take it as a Carolina fan, right? If we were sitting 10 games into last year and say, hey, next year you're going to be 5-5, you'd have probably been like, wow, I'll sign up for that, right?
Well, don't forget, they were the sexy pick of the preseason to make the playoffs. So,
yeah, they were. Yeah, we did not agree with that, but yes.
No, we didn't. So losing to the Saints at home was rough. But let's end the show. We have a few minutes left. Let's end the show with the AFC East and what you brought up. Here's my take, and it's simple. The Patriots, I said I thought they'd be a good team. I thought they might sneak into the playoffs with the Colts. Seems like they're going to not only sneak into the playoffs, they're going to be competing for a 1 seed. The Patriots are very, very good. They found their quarterback, they found their coach, and their defense is so good. The Bills are the Bills. They do this every year. They have a great win, and then I told you on this show Thursday they would come out flat against Miami. I thought they might pull out a win, but they couldn't even pull out the win. The Bills, this is what they do. This is what the Bills do. They win a big game, and then they come out and lose to a joke of a team in Miami. I think the Patriots win the AFC East. I think the Patriots are a legit team. And I think the Bills go on the road and lose probably in the second round of the playoffs. They'll win their first game playing a weaker division winner, and then they'll lose on the road game 2.
Maybe. Look, the Patriots are way better than I expected. I mean, let's get that out of the way. Drake May is way better than I expected. He's taken the next step this year, and it's impressive to watch him play. The fourth down he had to Diggs, Vrabel almost had egg on his face with the way that stupid first down run where he net down the ball. I still disagree with that, even though it worked out. If I was a fan and it was fourth down and we were throwing a fade to Stephon Diggs, I'd been like, you should have ran the ball on first down, Vrabel. But they're way better. The Bills, yeah, and I got to tell you, I love Josh Allen. But at some point, it's on him to win these games. Like, that fumble when he was trying. I get it. He's trying to get the extra yards. Did we give Derrick Henry a pass? We felt bad for him because I like him. I like Josh Allen. But you can't, you gotta hold on to that ball. There was just, he's got to figure this out. And this is the year, especially. I'll leave it at this. In the fucking somehow bizarro world where Kansas City doesn't get out of the 8th seed and misses the playoffs, which I don't think is going to happen. But if Kansas City's not in the playoffs and Buffalo doesn't get there, then when?
Yeah, look, right now, if I'm being completely fair, the Patriots are the best team in the AFC.
Probably, yeah.
Coach,
it's a good argument.
Quarterback, and they have the defense.
You're probably right. I think because I actually, even though he's second year and we're seeing, I like Drake May better than I like Daniel Jones. And that will put him over the top for me. Like I just said, Denver might be the luckiest 8-2 team. They're really good, but they just hobbled by the Raiders. Yeah. Chargers are going to lose in the first round. Pencil it in. Wild card round, Chargers go home. Yeah, you're right.
We'll end with that. Go ahead, because we're back
Kansas
Thursday.
City's the biggest threat. That's the only thing. If Kansas City, that's the biggest threat because they just seem to be able to turn it on. That's it.
Yeah, they'll see if they can rev the engines up. But we'll end with that, like I was saying, because we'll be back Thursday with our full show with Ryan, and we'll get Ryan's opinion on the Patriots because he's the Patriots fan. But he's got to be pretty happy with what he's seeing. Jimmy, give us your final thoughts. Final thoughts on tonight's game as we're about to kick off. Go ahead.
I'm nervous about this game. I do like the Packers. I think Packers at home coming off a tough loss. They're too talented. I think they figure out a way to get it done in inclement weather. But I'll just a quick plug here because we didn't do a session on it because it's early season. But Nikola Jokic, and I know I'm on his gate, looks unbelievable this year. And I think the voters would be the only reason to not put him to win MVP at plus 300 at this point. It's unbelievable what he's doing. His team is much better this year. And it's plus 550 to win it all. I might not go there, but if Jokic doesn't win it, it's voter fatigue because he is playing out of his mind. He's somehow better than he was last. I know the year's young, but what he's doing is ridiculous right now. So, plus 300 Jokic MVP. I'm going to take it for a couple bucks.
I love it. Sleepy obviously loves it. She's going nuts here. She loves the Joker. She's ready for the pack attack. She's ready for the Thursday show when we hear about how Ryan loves his Patriots and how they're going to win the Super Bowl. I can't wait to get his take on that, see what he thinks of the odds. It's going to be painful for us. We went through it for years with this guy. It looks like they're back. And I'll leave you with this as the dog is going nuts. Someone's bringing in their garbage can, and she's ruining the final moments of the show. But I'm not going to edit it out this time, Jimmy. I'm going to let everybody hear it.
Yet another Amazon package.
It's over unless you're playing Jimmy in fantasy. Then your team's total is going to be under.